Want to know what I think about the PS5 controller? Find out in this video. What's up, everybody? This is Brian from HappyFunnyGaming. If you're into gaming like me, please like and subscribe below, or even geeky stuff, like and subscribe below. On to the video. All right, I've been playing with the PS5 controller ever since it launched in November 12th, and I gotta say, my impressions of it were really good. There are good things and bad things that I like about this controller, which I'll explain now. First and foremost, I've seen a lot of impression videos of this controller and reviews, and those people don't even have PS5s, which is freaking hilarious. Don't trust them. So I've been using this controller on several games, such as Miles Morales. Also the game where it shows the controller's unique features, Astrobot, that came with the PS5. And finally, I've been playing most recently Cyberpunk, which is a PS4 game. First thing that I want to start out with in this controller is the feel of it. How does it feel in my hands? One thing is about me and controllers in general is I actually have smaller hands than most. I'm 5'7", and my hands are actually the same size as my wife, where she's 4'10". So I'm doing my experience on having smaller hands, and sometimes with hands like the Xbox One or Xbox One X seems sometimes to be a little bit bigger. Some controllers, like the original Xbox controller, were super huge, and even the Atari Jaguar controller for me. But how does this feel in my hands? It actually feels great in my hands. This is like one of the best controllers that I actually felt. I do have probably almost all of the generation controllers ever since NES to nowadays the PS5. The only controller that I never got to try right now was the Xbox Series X, because I had to pick whether I want to just go first with the PS5 or Xbox Series X, and I decided the PS5. But when I think about it, I think the Xbox Series X controller is probably the same build as the Xbox One controller. And compared to that, the Xbox One controller and this, and also my Nintendo Switch Pro controller, I feel that these, for my hands, for my small hands, and probably for other people, it feels great. I'm glad that they broke away from the PS4 controller style and they made it a little bit more bigger. The reason why is because they're easy to grab for me. Right over here, if you look, they're pretty steep and pretty small, the handles here, which is great for my hands. It doesn't slip, my hands don't cramp, it doesn't feel like I'm holding something really, really big. It feels great on my palms, as you could see. Does it feel better than the Xbox One controller because those controllers feel great on my hands too? No, it feels pretty much the same as in gripping the controller. One of the things PlayStation makes different making their controllers from other ones are the analogs are in the middle and the directional pad is on the side like this. For me, it depends on the games how it feels in the hands. I'm a Mortal Kombat player. I play Mortal Kombat 11. I'm a fighting game player. So when I play fighting games, I like the control pad to actually be near my thumb like this, like the PS5. It seems like they got the fighting game controls really good, because my thumb isn't overreaching over here. Build quality on this controller is actually really, really good. One of the things that I enjoy about this controller is there's no creaks or anything like that when I play. It feels cheap in the hands. It doesn't. It feels, the plastic feels really, really hefty. It feels really, really thick. The buttons feel really, really good. They're not mushy. The triggers feel really, really good too, and the build quality seems pretty solid on this. It has a grip that's here that's very rough, and it's actually X's, O's, and circles and triangles, mini tiny ones. You can't even see it in the bare naked eye until you look really, really, really close, but it's rough. But you could tell they did hard work on the build quality, because that grip stops right here. It's smooth right here, and then it's actually grippy right here. They're actually smoothing it out in the center of the controller, which I like, and I like that kind of detail to it. It's a little heavier. It's heavier than the PS4 controller, and I like that. It feels really, really great in the hands. That the weight to it's really, really good. I do like a little bit heavier controllers. I was very disappointed in PS3 when their controller felt like it was hollow at first. Let me tell you about the features about this controller and why it's so special. The new features about this controller are improved haptic feedback from PlayStation, which is the vibration function on both sides here, and also the adaptive triggers. Haptic feedback feels really, really special. I never knew how special haptic feedback was until I played Miles Morales and also Astro's Playground. Miles Morales, the one thing about Miles Morales when I first started playing in the PS5, and my experience with the haptic feedback was it was awesome in a subtle way. Like in the beginning of the game when you could feel the train tracks underneath and it actually just goes through the controller. It's that subtle feel that I believe that haptic feedback is very cool. And it's a unique feature to have. It's not an end all be all, but it's one of those things where it's a great miniature details that immerse you in the game. I know Nintendo has a different kind of rumble with their controllers, their Switch controllers, but that wasn't really utilized, I believe, too much. Like I don't even remember a game besides that 1-2 Switch that actually really utilized that kind of feedback where it feels like marbles or anything else like that. But in this controller, I felt it a lot, but it's not like I really, really felt it. It's like this subtle change that just is a great thing to have in like Miles Morales while playing. I want to talk to you guys more about the adaptive triggers. These adaptive triggers are awesome when they're actually utilized in the game. Like for example, Call of Duty, where you can actually feel the trigger in different guns and feel the pull, feel the vibration, feel that that pull on the trigger. In Miles Morales, it's a little bit more subtle when you're swinging webs. You could, when he releases, you could feel that pull or that let go. And then if you, and it's even more so when it's actually demoed in Astro's Playground, where you're the spring and you could actually feel the tension on the spring, which is really, really cool. It's great to have, and that makes this controller a little bit more next generation when you're playing games. I hope other games and third parties will utilize these adaptive triggers because it's so cool to have, especially like shooting games. When you feel that trigger pull, or you feel that trigger vibration, or you feel that tension, we'll just have to wait and see. But I hope they do implement it because that's what makes this controller really next gen. But we'll see in the future. I just hope that it'll get implemented. Don't make it like this touchpad right here. Okay, this touchpad was hardly implemented in PS4 when they first came out with it. This touchpad was basically just another button. And it looks like it's utilized that now in the PS5 games that are playing right now. It's just another button instead of an actual just touchpad. So I hope that doesn't happen to the adaptive triggers. Out of all like the controllers, usually Nintendo is like the first one to make things popular. They were the first ones to make Rumble popular. Nintendo was the first ones to make the analog stick popular. Nintendo was the first one, I believe, to make shooting games on a console using a controller possible. These adaptive triggers though, this is like one of the first things that PlayStation probably has that's in their court to implement and make something new. I hope that it doesn't turn out to be just like this touchpad right here where no one really cares about it. And I hope that it doesn't turn out to be, hope it doesn't be like Xbox One's Kinect where it just wipes off the face of the earth, not used ever again. One of the features that I like about this controller is the mic here. You could actually mute the mic. People could hear you without wearing a headset, which is good. I know the quality of the mic's not that great, but it's good enough that other people could hear you. Let me talk to you guys about the battery life on this. So, I am a gamer, but I work and I have a family and I have to cook and all this other stuff during the day, that my playtime is basically at night, and probably 2 hours, 3 hours if I'm lucky, 4 hours if I'm super lucky and I don't want to sleep. The playtime on this is alright for me. It's just okay. I usually get around 3 days depending on the game. If you're using the adaptive triggers and also the haptic feedback more, like playing Miles Morales, you'll probably only get like 2 days out of it. Or maybe like 1 day if you play like 6 hours straight or something like that. It's very short because it's utilizing all the controller's features. But for me, it's just okay. I mean, like, I always charge it before I go to bed. So in my lifestyle, when I'm playing at night, it's fine with me. What I wish that this controller had for the battery actually is having it taken out and putting regular AA batteries, or putting in another like battery pack in there like what Xbox One had. And the reason why is because AA lasts a lot longer, and then it's really fast to change, so you could just play longer. You're just utilizing one controller here. If you play longer, I would suggest you get another USB Type-C cable that's very long if you play it in your living room or anything like that. And it'll charge while you're playing, or get another controller like I did. Actually, I didn't buy another controller because I didn't need it, but my friend gave me this for Christmas, which is awesome. Thank you, Dave. I'm gonna utilize both of them now when I play. Explain about the controller lights. I know it's advertised that there's a blue light on here. The blue light only happens, on my experience right now, is when I'm playing PS4 games or I'm playing Astro's Playground. Other than that, there's a white light right here that just indicates that you're playing. I like the white light more than the blue because it's not noticeable to me. But the blue light does look really, really cool when playing. My final thoughts on this controller. This may be a controller review, but honestly, it doesn't really matter, because what matters is if you get the PS5 or not, because these controllers come with it, so you have to use it, right? My honest opinion about this controller is it's a great step for next generation gaming. I like really new tech to be implemented in our next generation. New ways to play the controller is one of them. I'm kind of tired of the same controller, even though it works from Xbox. This is another step in next generation. I'm hopeful for it. Please, PlayStation and third-party users, utilize the adaptive triggers on this one. They're so great. And also the haptic feedback. And then it is on our way to next generation, and I give this an approval. Now, I want to know what's your experience on this PS5 controller. What do you think? Is this controller the next generation? Please comment below. This is Brian from HappyFunnyGaming. Stay safe. Have a great 2021. Kill it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.